Hey there everyone, it's Gigi Sober Sun here at one of my favorite vantage points in all of Fort Walton Beach. You can see the sound over there. Well, if I point to the right direction with the camera, over there by the water tower is Santa Rosa Sound, Gulf of Mexico, and Choctawhatchee Bay over here. And over here. It looks different in the camera than from what I'm looking at. Anyway, June the 5th, AA Thought for the Day. We alcoholics are fortunate to be living in a day and age where there is such a thing as Alcoholics Anonymous. Before AA came into being, there was very little hope for the alcoholic. AA is a great rebuilder of human wreckage. Amen to that. It takes men and women whose personality problem expresses itself in alcoholism and offers them a program that, if they are willing to accept it, allows them not only to get sober, but also to find a much better way of living. Have I found a better way of living? You're doggone right. I have found a purpose in sharing my experience, strength, and hope with others who have suffered from a common malady. And yeah, man, I think about that. Like all the people who suffered and died in years past because there was no AA before 1930. Religion is good as far as it goes, but it doesn't directly address some of the more, I guess, festering mental attitudes, as it says in the literature that we deal with. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. All right. Well, let me. I had to this will be the last time up here, I guess. So oh, there goes a falcon as well. Oh, how cool is that? So anyway, yeah, all the people who came before us, before 1930s, when Dr. Bob and Bill got together, they suffered, like many of us who don't know about AA, or even worse, I think in some cases, have a preconceived notion of what AA is all about, and that it talks about it in the back of the book. The attitude that keeps us in everlasting darkness is contempt prior to investigation, and that we have a limited idea or understanding of what something is, and we just rule it out, because of something we saw on TV, or a friend of a friend, or a family member who had a problem with it and just wrote it off. So yeah. So anyway, meditation for the day. Very quietly, God speaks through your thoughts and feelings. Heed the divine voice of your conscience. Listen for this, and you will never be disappointed in the results in your life. Listen for this small, still voice, and your tired nerves will become rested. The divine voice comes to you as strength as well as tenderness, as power as well as restfulness. Your moral strength derives its effectiveness from the power that comes when you listen patiently for the still small voice. And that actually reinforces something that I heard recently, that even if we get it wrong in terms of what we think God is instructing us to do in our life, then we should turn around and keep listening to it, keep doing what we think God is telling us to do. And I needed that reminder because, I've made a lot of mistakes in the past. Like it talks about in the 5th step in the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book that, if we don't run it by somebody else, we can rationalize the most errant nonsense under the presumption that God told us to do so. A lot of times we do things out of codependency, I reached out to somebody last night that came for prayer yesterday afternoon after church, and they mentioned that they had not drank in like a year and a half, and they were having a hard time. They felt good about not drinking, but they were still having a hard time with a lot of intrusive thoughts and things like that, and feeling not worthy and things like that. And so I thought, well, let me reach out, let them know that they don't have to do it alone, and that they don't have to, they can get a sense of purpose by being a part of a fellowship, the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. And they weren't sure about AA, but wanted to know about Celebrate Recovery. And my personal, standpoint is that Celebrate Recovery is a churchified version or a religious version of 12-step recovery. It's kind of like we don't want to mingle with the the unwashed masses, the unsaved masses. And I think it's so sad because once again, the church is holding themselves out. Religious people are holding themselves out of society and saying, no, you come to us. Again, come to our building. We have a better version. Well, and I get it. I understand what they're saying. Okay, yes, those who know who their higher power is, you have a place where you can come and talk freely about that. Well, you can talk freely about Jesus Christ in an AA meeting. Just know that you're going to put some people off. That's all, And by my choosing not to constantly talk about who my higher power is not a denial of my higher power. It's giving people an opportunity to think about that and be drawn to me. If they see something in me, I can go, it's not me you're drawn to. It's my higher power, and this is why I believe what I believe. And so there you have it. Again, I have to be in and among people like that to be that light. So whenever we hold ourselves out, it's a different thing altogether. Becomes a different thing. And I've had a few people, and I'm not saying a bunch, but I've had a few people come and say, I've been to Celebrate Recovery, and I don't feel like I can be as open and honest with what's going on with me in there. I can't talk about my specific ailment of alcoholism or what have you. So, prayer for the day. I pray that I may listen for the still small voice of God. I pray that I may obey the leading of my conscience. Amen to that. And I'm going to go ahead and get off of the top of this building, because my man just came in, told me I can't come up here anymore. This is private property. I get it. It's such a sweet vantage point, though. I wish they'd just charge me. I'd pay $1 to come up here, for sure. So, anyway. Love y'all. Keep coming back. Look up aim up, rise up.